Hey everyone, Digital David here. Today in this video, I'm going to be checking out the Corsair Vengeance LPX DDR4 RAM. I did purchase this product myself, and any opinion expressed in this video is strictly my own. You can see the nice retail box and packaging right here, walking us through some of the quick tech specs for this RAM. It's optimized for AMD and Intel. We have two 8GB sticks, 16 gigs total, DDR4, and you can see our advertised speed of 3200 megahertz. Typically, when you're buying RAM, there's always two factors to consider. One is your speed and the other is your latency. You want a higher speed rating and a lower latency rating for the best performance. In this case, you can see 3200 megahertz and our latency is 16. We have a CL16 rating. Now let's go ahead, let's open them up and look at the package contents. Here are all the package contents. First up, you can see we have our Corsair safety information in multiple languages, followed by our 2 sticks of DDR4 RAM. Let's go ahead. Let's take them out of the packaging. Check that out. Vengeance LPX DDR4. You can see how everything looks right here from both sides. Our product information, they're identical to each other, so you can see that. We have the 8 gig version, 16 gigs total. But you can see Corsair's logo on the top too. Everything looks really nice. I like the front of this. It's really sharp with the Vengeance LPX on it. Nice heat sink. Looks cool with the black. You can see all different sides and angles. Now let's go ahead and let's get this installed. When installing the RAM, refer to the user guide and manual, and you might be able to find it directly on your motherboard as well. If you're going to just be using 2 out of the 4 available slots, it will tell you which 2 slots to use. So in our case, you can see it's clearly marked A2 and B2 are the ones we're supposed to use first. So here's A1, here's A2, here's B1, and here's B2. So we're gonna be using A2 and B2 for our 2 sticks of RAM. Obviously, if you had 4 sticks of RAM, you will be using all 4 slots. So let's go ahead. Let's take one of our sticks right here. Let's just gently line everything up. It's only gonna fit one way. So just keep that in mind. If you're doing this for the first time, maybe you can see right here, we have a longer side and a shorter side. So then just line it up and then just gently press everything in place and then you hear it click. And now let's do that again for our second stick. So same thing, it's only gonna go one way. Drop it in and then just gently press. And there we go, it snaps in place. And now the RAM has successfully been installed. So now you can see our RAM's at the correct speed that we should be getting, 3200 megahertz. So I had to go up to the advanced section. Let's see if we can click it from here. Then we had to go to our OC settings. And then right here you can see we had to select profile 1. Yours might say disable. Then go back and save your settings, reboot it, and you should be all set and ready to go with the correct RAM speed for your build. So far, no issues with the RAM at all. It's communicating just fine with our CPU and the motherboard. No issues to report back to you guys. For some budget-friendly RAM, I'm very pleased with it. I like the low-profile design. I guess in the future, my only complaint is that I just didn't buy enough of it.
Okay, so this time around, we're going to be talking about the crucial Ballistics gaming RAM. That is random access memory. And before we move on, I do want to just apologize for the poor lighting. I am not in my usual recording space because I am in front of my keyboard, my computer here, because, well, I have to record part of this on my computer. So before I ended up with this, and this is the 32 gigabyte kit. So you get 2 16 gigabyte DDR4 3200 cards for RAM. Now, just as long as your system accepts DDR4 RAM, you should be able to install this into your computer. My personal computer is a Dell 5680 Inspiron. It is a gaming computer. The reason why I got the gaming computer is so that I could end up upgrading it later on down the road, which is what I ended up doing. And the reason why I ended up doing it is because the 5680 Inspiron came with 8 gigabytes of RAM. And 8 gigabytes of RAM is probably enough for when you're cruising around on the internet and doing things like that. But the moment you start to do something that requires more processing power, for example, running Photoshop or any kind of video editing software like I was doing, I was really starting to get lagged down big time. And if I had the editing software open, and if I opened up just one internet browsing tab, it would crash my computer. So after doing some research, I found that I needed to get some more RAM because I only had 8 gigabytes of RAM and 8 wasn't cutting it. And then I was watching, and I'll put this up on the screen here. I was watching the usage on this program here that I'm recording, and I saw that it was taking up a huge amount of my RAM. It was eating up all of my RAM when I was doing the video editing software. So I ended up buying this 32 gigabyte kit from Crucial, and it works really, really well. I no longer have the lagginess. It no longer freezes up when I'm editing. And this is the BL2K 16G32C kit. And after I installed it, so obviously I don't have the cards because I already put them in, or I wouldn't have been able to do a review for you here. So all I have is an empty box and the screenshot that I'm showing you where I recorded my screen. And it was telling me that it was eating up, and it's still, the video editing software still eats up almost half of my memory. I now have 40 gigabytes of memory, and it eats up 20 gigabytes of memory, but it still leaves me with 20 gigabytes. So now I can do other stuff. So if you're struggling, and if you have only 8 gigabytes of memory, or even 4 megabytes or gigabytes of memory, upgrading to something like this, and I even left my old 8 gigabyte card in there, so now I have a total of 40 gigabytes. Upgrading to something like this is a really, really good idea. You will see a performance boost probably immediately, and it works fantastic. So again, this is the 32 gigabyte kit. And you get 2 16 gigabyte cards. And again, this is the DDR4. These are 3200. This is highly recommended upgrade for those of you who need this sort of, if you need extra computing power, I would definitely start here. And this kit works very well. I hope this helped, and I'll see you in the next one.